Hello, nice to meet you, Hel. So, welcome in the podcast, the RevOps Pooper.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. My name is Elle Hoffman, and I have a Master of Science in Data Analytics from Eastern University. And I'm currently a RevOps and marketing strategist at a HubSpot partner company called Black Diamond Implementation. But so happy to be here, and I'm excited to get started.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I've seen on LinkedIn you're like the person to talk about data and RevOps. So that's why I've contacted you. I'm really happy to have you today. You just introduced yourself, and my first question is, what does RevOps mean to you? Because we have like different definitions of RevOps.
Yeah. And I have heard a lot of different definitions, but to me, RevOps is the alignment between sales, marketing, and customer service teams. It's really about ensuring that every team in a company can get along in a cohesive way. And it's about ensuring good handoff between customer service and sales and marketing. Yeah, so really just like alignment between every revenue generating segment of the business.
Okay. So alignments, like we talk, I'm from marketing, like from 10 years ago, and we talk about alignment between sales and marketing and CS teams for ages now. So what changed in the RevOps approach? Like, because alignment, it's one of the main topic within a
Yeah.
company. So is the RevOps different than just like aligning teams, or what changed with time?
Yeah, so I think a really common complaint that I've heard a lot through my career is marketing doesn't know what sales wants, and sales has a hard time communicating with marketing. Um, so of course the teams can interact themselves, but I think the purpose of RevOps is more than just like sales and marketing alignment. Um, if you have a RevOps team or even a RevOps person, they can really break things down, meet with each stakeholder, each team, and try to see what they're trying to accomplish. And when you really take that step back, it can be a lot more helpful. Maybe, the process needs to change in order for marketing and sales to better understand each other. And I think having that third party can really be helpful. Um, Instead of just, marketing talking to sales, it's RevOps talking to service and to marketing and to sales and
Mm.
ensuring that they all agree.
Yeah, to have like a big overview. You talked
Yeah.
about processes. Then RevOps, is it only about processes, or what else?
Well, at some organizations it is, but RevOps is really broad. So yeah, of course it's about processes. There's going to be data mapping tasks and flowcharts and that sort of thing. There could be presentations where each team is talking and you're trying to draw a diagram, but it's also things like data cleaning and ensuring that the fields and properties make sense and they're collecting data in the right way. And it's about integrations, connecting different sources of data. There's migrations, maybe there's a tool that doesn't need to be used anymore. um,
Yeah.
it's, making sure that the customers are happy too. Really, it's a broad term. It can be used in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. So you talked about data. I think you're close to data, right? You work a lot
Yes.
with data. Could you just, I don't know, talk about what's so important about data in RevOps? Why?
Yeah, so going back to that marketing and sales alignment, if you have if your marketing and sales team are really separated, maybe they're even using two separate tools that aren't talking to each other, um, you're going to really struggle. The data is not going to be accurate. And if you want to know how much money you're making, and if your marketing attribution is accurate, the data needs to be accurate and clean. which is why it's really important to have a single source of truth for your data. So if you're using something like HubSpot, you can either just use HubSpot, or it's totally fine to use other tools, but you need to make sure that they're talking to each other in a way that makes sense. And if you're not doing that, it's really common to see like one tool is saying you made this much money, another tool is saying you made this much money, or you might not even be able to tell how much money was made. You can see, oh, marketing did these tasks, sales did these tasks, but how do you tell, what's what if your data is not accurate?
Yeah.
So the role of RevOps or a data ops person, a big part of it is making sure those systems are talking, making sure the data is logged accurately and it's clean. I've seen problems like there could be 20 companies like that are the same thing, like 20 Amazon companies in a database, and you might have deals logged to different things. There could be important prospects or customers at different companies, but it's all the same company. The data just isn't clean.
Yeah.
And it's kind of all over the place.
It's quite a big challenge to have like all your data cleaned. And you were talking about like the single source of truth. How do you choose your single source of truth? Because we have like data all over us right now. And you talked about integration. So of course you have your CRM, HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever, and you try to connect your other, all your ecosystem to this CRM. But some companies decide that that's the single source of truth, not the CRM. So how do you choose your single source of truth?
Well, if a company does use HubSpot, I always recommend at least considering using HubSpot as their single source of truth, because it has native deduplication. So Salesforce is great. It has some very robust features. A lot of teams really like it, especially sales teams. And since HubSpot didn't have HIPAA compliance until recently, many teams use Salesforce for that feature. But HubSpot natively deduplicates contacts based on email address. Salesforce doesn't do that natively. HubSpot also deduplicates companies based on the company domain name. Now, if there's a subdomain like an info dot behind the company, that's where you can get duplicates, or if they're not using domain or email address. But because HubSpot has that feature natively, I always think it's a good idea to consider using it. That way you can prevent one of the biggest data challenges, which is having duplicates.
Yeah. And what about, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're okay. And I was going to say, if you pay for HubSpot's Operation Hub Professional or Enterprise tool, Enterprise tier tool, it also has a data quality command center where you can easily like check for other kinds of duplicates and merge them. But I think it's where you need to have a conversation with the different teams and the company's stakeholders to see, which tools they prefer, what tools are integrated with what, how they're using them, and then they might want like a NetSuite to be their single source of truth. And that's something I've seen a lot. But it's really just going to depend on the specific company.
Yeah, I was saying like either the HubSpot or Salesforce or Dynamics, so like whatever the CRM is, like you need to choose which platform will support your single source of truth. And it can be like if you're a SaaS company, for example, it can be your application, like your SaaS, your database, your house database. So yeah, that's I think it's a big decision, but once you've chosen the right one, just stick to it, because if you change it like every 3 months, that's going to be kind of hard, I guess.
Yeah. And then your data is going to be inaccurate, and you're going to deal with problems like duplicates and inaccurate sales reporting, which has a lot of bad implications. Like if you're not reporting on your sales numbers properly, you're not going to know how much money you're making, and you could make some really poor decisions. So yeah, that's why a single source of truth is really important.
Yeah. All right. For you, like, what do you think is the ideal organization between like data management and ops? Like, do we need like a company should have, I don't know, like a data analyst department, should have like a sales ops, a RevOps, I don't know what else. What is the ideal organization?
So I think it depends on the company's size. If it's a small company, like I'd say less than 30 people, you might be able to have just one person that handles all operations, including data. So they're going to work with each team, they're going to ensure alignment, they're going to make sure the data is clean, they're going to do things like portal audits. They might even, if it's a client facing company, they also might help their clients with their data. But once you start hitting that 30-person mark, you're going to need more people.
Yeah.
So in larger organizations, I've seen like a sales ops and a marketing ops. I'm talking maybe up to 60 people. Then you're going to start breaking out like, yeah, sales ops, a marketing ops. And at this point, and even at smaller companies, you could have just a RevOps. But yeah, I think at that point, it's helpful to have someone focus more on the sales team, have someone focus more on the marketing team, and then they would work together really well. But as you start growing into big, large scale companies, you might want like an entire data team, you might want an entire sales operations team and marketing operations team, and possibly a revenue operations team who all work together. Sales ops is supporting sales, marketing ops is supporting marketing, revenue operations would support both or could replace those teams. And then they'd be working directly with the data team. Data, if it's such a large scale company, might be doing things like predictive analytics. There could be like data science people. There could be more data analyst type people who are reporting on the existing data. And it might be those sales and marketing or revenue operations people that are focusing more on the hygiene. So it's really going to depend on the company's size. Every company's needs are going to be different.
Yeah, sure. And as soon as you're aware about like, the ops and the role of the RevOps, either you could have like one RevOps people if you are like a startup, or you could, if you're on a scale up, you could have one sales hub, one market hubs, and one RevOps report. Anyway, but like I think like the very important thing is to be aware that you need someone to ease the processes and the tools, the data, the integrations, etc.
Yes. Yeah, and if you don't have that person, that's where you start getting silos and having inaccurate data. But if you don't have someone in-house, that's okay too. That's why agencies exist. It's very common for businesses to hire like a HubSpot partner, or if they use Salesforce, a Salesforce partner, someone to manage their CRM on their behalf. And that's perfectly fine. They would meet with them weekly. That agency would understand their business model. So there's other options if they don't want to have an in-person or an in-house person or team.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Could you share, if you have something in mind, could you share one of your challenge, like about aligning, all the data with the ops optimization? Like how do you talk with people to be sure to get them aligned and to get them understand the data as well? So do you have any challenge in mind that you've been through about alignment?
Yeah, so if you've had people that are at the company for 10 plus years and they might have built their own CRM or somewhere where the data is stored, it can be pretty challenging to say things might need to be done differently. And you have to be careful. You don't want to insult the tool that they've built. You don't want to upset the people that you're working with, but you still have to suggest a different way of doing things. Because if the data is broken, if the tool is broken, it needs to be fixed or nothing will ever be accurate.
Yeah, sure. And that's pretty, how to say that, hard sometimes to, to change all the, like all the platform, all the processes, etc. Like how
Yeah.
do you start, and why, and that this workflow has an impact on this
Yep.
dashboard and etc. So I totally get what you say, because I think we're both working for clients, so we know these kind of challenges. Well, thank you so much, and I think we're going to finish with one question: how your
Sure.
colleagues or your clients see you? Like how do they talk about you? Like, are you like the RevOps Pooper? Are you like the wizard of ops? What are you for them?
So I've had a lot of colleagues and clients tell me that I'm a data wizard.
Okay.
Um, I'm pretty well known for being able to create, diagrams to ensure that their systems and objects within the systems are interacting in a proper way, and building portal audits and then creating workflows and reports and dashboards. I've had a lot of people say that I'm really necessary and a wizard for data, and it makes me really feel good, especially since I just finished my master's degree in data analytics. It makes me feel like I'm in the right field and um, really being able to, help people and do good things.
Okay, so I like it. So the wizard of data. So I've heard a lot of people working in RevOps world, and their colleagues or their customer, they call them like wizard of ops,
Yes,
wizard of RevOps. I think the word wizard comes back and back. I don't know, like why wizard? I guess like you have something very, I don't know,
magic powers.
like, yeah, I guess for people, but the thing is, people sometimes they don't really understand how you do things,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's really easy, but and sometimes it's really hard as well. Then wizard, I like it. All right.
thank you.
We finished here. Thank you so much, El.
Yeah, thank you as well. It's been great chatting with you.
Okay, same here, and I see you guys to the next podcast, the RevOps Pooper. Bye. Bye now.